Halloween 2018 wraps and what I want from the new movie. Here we go. What's up, guys? Here we are. Halloween 2018 principal photography is done, complete, in the can. Well, I guess not technically in the can because I still have to do all the editing and whatnot, the music. John Carpenter's doing the music, by the way. That's awesome. But a big portion of this is done. The shooting is done. I can't believe this. How exciting is this? This is crazy. But here we are, October of this year. We have a new Halloween movie. The trailer will probably be coming within the next few months. Chill bumps, people. When that trailer drops, that's gonna be the most insane thing ever. Finally, a new Halloween trailer with OG Myers, original Myers. But first, before we get into this update, I wanna give a quick shout out to a good friend of mine, Victoria Rasmussen. She's a friend of mine on Instagram. She's a makeup artist, and if you look at her work here, it's insane. I've seen a few of these makeup artists on Instagram, and the amount of hours that they must put into this is crazy to me. But as an early 10,000 subscriber present, I asked her, because I'm a fan of her work, if she would do her face in crow makeup for me. And sure enough, she did. Here's what it looks like. It's badass. So please give her a follow on Instagram if you haven't. Here's her Instagram handle right here, and you won't regret it. Very talented. And also a quick shout out to Mother Mayhem, formerly That Horror Whore. She said jokingly that she was going to get me up to Canada and she was going to put makeup on my face as I do a review, which would be hilarious. And I would look feminine. I would have female makeup on. Crazy, huh? But anyway, here we go. Halloween update. We know that shooting has completed. We know that Jamie Lee Curtis herself posted this picture on Instagram when she finished her shooting, and then there were rumors floating around that, hey, not only did she finish, but also the entire production has finished shooting principal photography, which they did, which was confirmed a few days later. She also posted this picture, which is 3 generations of Strodes. It's her, Judy Greer playing her daughter, and Andi Matichak playing her granddaughter, which I don't think I've ever seen her in anything, but should be interesting. Also, Nick Castle, who is playing the Shape himself after 40 years, was recently at a Mad Monster Party Con, I think it's called, and he gave just a few little small updates, really nuggets, nothing big. The famous head tilt will be there, which is really cool. There's gonna be all kinds of Easter eggs to the original movie sprinkled throughout by David Gordon Green. And a set photographer, not in the movie, but just for publicity photos, is gonna recreate, or has already recreated, a lot of famous shots from the original movie 40 years later. So I'm looking forward to seeing those roll out. Now, what do I want out of this new Halloween movie? I haven't really told you that yet, or I might have just sprinkled it a little bit, but in a perfect world, what do I want? Recently, I just watched the movie The Collector. And if you know that movie, you know that it was directed by Marcus Dunstan, and it was written by Marcus Dunstan and Patrick Melton. And after watching that, knowing that those two actually wrote the script for Halloween Returns, which has been canceled, I didn't really get sad, but I thought, man, that is a solid movie. And as far as like tension goes, it's one of the most intense horror films I've ever seen. And if they could have added that intensity to the new Halloween movie, and I've read the script and there was a lot of great moments in there, then that could have been awesome. So what I'm getting at is I wouldn't mind some of that being carried over into this. And I know David Gordon Green is a director who can handle, you know, darkness and atmosphere and tension and all that stuff. Even in his non-horror films, he's dealt with that type of stuff. So I think if they can give this just a really dark, brooding tone, have the score just be really chilling. The score in Halloween 5 is probably the laziest score that I've ever heard. It sounded like Alan Howarth actually just used a couple of keys on the piano, and it just sounded so basic and simple. So I don't want them to do that. Carpenter himself is doing the scores, so this score could be freaking epic. And I know Carpenter has been on tour in the past couple of years, so the wheels have been greased, so to speak. I don't want Jamie Lee Curtis to play the same type of character that she did in H2O. Otherwise, what's the point? I do want her to be a battered and beaten down person that's still completely haunted by Myers, but let's take it to another level. The fact that she is not his sister in this movie, supposedly, really piques my interest because there's a lot of different directions they can go with that. And lastly, even 40 years later, I don't want to know anything about The Shape. I don't know. I don't want to know his backstory outside of what we already know. I just want him to be a freaking force. That's all I want. It worked in the original. It will work in this one. And I think after Carpenter read the script and how excited he was, I'm getting a hunch that maybe they don't really give you too much about the Shade. You just see him 40 years later, and that's it. So, in a nutshell, that's what I want out of this movie. As far as the trailer goes, I don't want them to show us too much, but I want them to show us just enough. I guess the Venom trailer is a good example. I think the Venom trailer might have benefited from showing just a little bit more. So I guess that's what I want out of this one. Don't show Myers like completely, but maybe just hear the breathing throughout. And I actually said this on a Scream stream that I did with the guys a few months ago. I just want there to be this breathing at the beginning of the trailer, but just slow, like you can't really hear it. And then as the trailer goes on and the music starts intensifying, I want the breathing to start intensifying and it just to get completely, like, the trailer itself should be really tension filled and the breathing should pronounce that. And then at the very end of the trailer, the camera should pull back and we should see Myers. And that's it. That's all you see of Myers out of the trailer. In a perfect world, that would be my trailer for this movie. And like along the way, you see like the victims, you know, or like screaming victims or whatever. But maybe that's why I'm not a director. But I think that would be a cool trailer. So what do you guys think as far as what you want out of this movie, what you want out of the trailer? Are you excited? I'm literally like shaking right now just talking about this. I can't believe a new Halloween movie is coming out soon. And it's happening. It's awesome. And also, just a big shout out to Dave McRae and Mike and Jay from We Watched the Movie.
A lot of people were surprised that she only shot for 2 weeks, right? And I was trying to calm everybody down and say, hey, this isn't quite surprising. When you look at the overall simplicity of Halloween, it's not going to shoot for very long.
You guys, we keep coming at your face with those updates.
There's so much goddamn goodness.
It just keeps happening. I don't want it to happen when I'm at work. This is the pumpkin. But it happens. This is the pumpkin.
I think as far as Halloween updates go, those two guys are just like next level. And I get a lot of great compliments about my Halloween updates. And somebody even said on like Dave McRae's video, if they could get all three of us to do a podcast together and just talk about Halloween, how cool would that be? I'm thinking, and I'll propose this to you guys, maybe as soon as this movie comes out, we all three do a podcast together. That is my challenge to you guys, good sirs. That could be badass. What do you guys think? Anyway, guys, that's my Halloween update. Be sure to come over to Killer Flicks and become a member where we talk horror all day and every day. And on Fridays, we do Free For All Fridays. Go to the Drumdums store. There's a ton of shirts out there right now. I got 2 more shirts that were designed by Woody Bowen. One is a Drumdums Crow shirt, and then one is another Killer Flicks t-shirt. Both of them are badass. Also, follow me at Drumdums on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, and now Stardust. Just past 300 followers on Stardust, by the way. Thank you for that. You know, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. And Myers is back, baby.